So the next one I have is they need urgent advice. Should I leave my new job of 2 months or go back to my old job where the offer is still on the table? So I've been finding myself in a bit of a predicament. A few months ago, a recruiter reached out to me for a position I was underqualified for at a corporate job. When I was approached by the recruiter, I was working at a nonprofit job that I really liked, but was underpaid. Curious about better paid corporate opportunity, I ended up moving forward with a few interviews and landed the job. When I put in my resignation at the nonprofit organization, they almost matched my corporate salary offer, about $10,000 less, but I decided to move forward with the new job opportunity. Now, 2 months into my job, I am absolutely miserable. I hate the job itself, my onboarding process was terrible, and the organization itself is a disorganized mess. I have approximately 8 to 9 hours of meetings straight every single day, and I'm getting thrown new, confusing projects left and right, even though I barely understand the company yet. I told my supervisor that I was feeling quite lost and overwhelmed, and she was not very receptive. She simply apologized, but proceeded to invite me to more last-minute meetings and throw more projects my way. Now, my window of opportunity is closing to go back to my previous employer, and I'm not sure if I should just go back. The offer is still open for my taking. I'm looking for advice. Part of me is not sure if I should stay and stick it out, although the amount of meetings will never change, for the sake of resume building and not disappointing my new team and avoiding shame and guilt. However, I know I'd be happier at my old job, even if the benefits are not as good. So they're looking for advice. Should I leave my new job of 2 months where I'm miserable and go back to my old job, which was paid a little less but made me happier? Or should I stick it out in my new job?
I think this is why it's a good example of why it's so important to keep relationships good with old employers. Like when you leave a company, make sure you put in your 2 weeks. Like, don't leave on bad terms. Make sure you get all your work done that you were doing before you leave. All of that.
Yeah,
right?
Agreed. Totally agree.
Definitely.
I mean, what do you think? Do you think they should?
Well, it sounds like they should go back. It depends what his salary or this person's salary is, though, because they said it's $10,000 less. And $10,000 less could be a lot if you're making $40,000, right? Because then you're going to make $30,000. But if you're making $110,000 and it's to $100,000, then that's not so bad. That doesn't sting quite as much. But it really just it's really hard to know that part. But to this person, it sounds like $10,000 is no big deal, right? That's what they made it seem like.
Yeah, they did. They said only $10,000. So I would assume they're probably a little bit higher paid. I don't know, because they said nonprofit. I don't usually equate that to higher paying jobs, but you never know.
But it's only $10,000 less than this corporate job, right?
Yeah, true. So
it must be a decent nonprofit job. Some nonprofit jobs can pay pretty well.
Yeah.
Right. Not all of them are super low paying. But I think this person should go back. It sounds like it's not going to get any better. Like, I read one of the comments here, and it says, like, companies never change. Like, if it's crazy like that, and they're throwing you into meetings and projects that you can't handle.
Yeah.
Like, they're just not going to change. Like, that's how it is, right? Like, you can't just sit there and hope that something else is going to get better for you. You got to make it better for yourself, right?
I don't think they should stay at this job, but I don't know if they should go back. I think that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like whoever this is, needs to analyze why they left in the first place. Like, why were you so quick to pick the other opportunity? Was it just because you were curious as to corporate, or
just because underpaid?
Yeah, were you just feeling like it because you were underpaid? And do you think that that's going to continue if you do go back there? And what is your main priority? Are you okay with being underpaid? Clearly you weren't, because you did change your job because you were underpaid.
Right.
So clearly, that was still a factor for you.
And if they're going to underpay you once, then what's not to say they're going to not underpay you in 5 years when your salary range jumps up $20,000, but they only pay you $5,000 more dollars.
Yeah, so I think that's tough because you were already underpaid and you didn't feel like they were going to match without maybe having a second offer on the table. So I personally wouldn't go back. That's just me, because I feel like you probably left for a reason, and that you were looking for something else, or it just didn't fit your needs anymore or all of your expectations. But then this job now that you're going to is just worse, so it's making that job look better.
Right.
Which,
Exactly.
I mean, you really don't know a job till you get into it and understand the team and the meetings. So I can understand how this would happen. I mean, it's definitely happened to a ton of people where you get there and you're just like, this is not for me.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, another corporate job might be a better fit for you. Like, there's a lot of answers here, right? So maybe stick it out a year and then try to get another job. You don't really want to be jumping around jobs every 2 months.
I wouldn't stick around.
Oh, you wouldn't stick around?
I wouldn't stick around. I would go.
Okay.
If there's this many red flags and you're miserable, I would get the heck out of there. It's not going to get better. If I saw that on a resume, I mean, I understand that not all jobs are perfect fits. And you can just explain that. You don't even have to put it on your resume. Most people wouldn't.
Wow.
I mean, if you're only there a month or
2
two.
months.
Yeah, I mean, don't even put it on your resume. But if you want to, feel free and just say it wasn't a great fit for me and I'm looking for the right fit. But I would not quit first. I would go find a job right now.
Right.
Go apply to something that you do think will fit your needs and ask the right questions in the interview.
Right.
To then understand better whether or not this is the right fit. Just be like, what does a typical day look like? If it's meetings all day, then you know that that's probably not the job for you.
And try to meet more of the team. Like, maybe you didn't get to meet everybody and just see, like, and get more perspective on what the day-to-day was like.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe do that better the next time. Like, you got to just learn little things about the process and just apply them to your future applications, right?
Yeah, I think this person should get a new job, though.
Get back on Indeed.
Get back on Indeed. There's a ton of jobs out there.
Yeah.
I don't think that your last job was obviously the ultimate job out there. So you can do better and just keep climbing the ladder then with your salary as you change jobs.
I totally agree. Yeah.